Hey, I'm about to share with you something that I haven't shared with practically anyone. A couple of years ago, I wrote a heap of poetry. It couldn't stop pouring out of me. I wrote about 300 pages of poetry, but I've never really shared poems with the public. I read it to one or two friends, and that's about it. So I thought, hey, why not now? I'm going to read one that's called Offerings. Take them, the layers of me that yearn to be peeled off. Take them, I don't need them. Let the new, let the true be seen. Take them away from me, let them wash away. I trod the path back to my essence, lighting the way with my heart. I looked at what was there to be seen and unraveled the threads of my mind, of my body, of the stuck energy. I looked and I saw the path was still ahead of me. I, Ariadne, I, Theseus, I guide myself to the depths of the maze to stare the minotaur of myself in the eyes. I, daughter of a king, I choose to rescue the one I love and guide back to the light. I, hero of my soul, I slay the darkness and return to the sky, stronger and ready to love. Let the new, let the true be seen. I free myself and follow the thread back to the skies, my path lit by my glowing heart. And I offer them to you, the shed parts of me, sacred offerings. Look, can you see how beautiful they are? The relics of my life? Take them. I don't need them anymore. Oh, magnificent molting skin. You hold so much memory. You have protected me so beautifully. Oh, marvelous molted skin. My growing heart cracked you open. My heart outgrew you. Beautiful skin. You became too uncomfortable. I became my own god, my own creator. I descended to the depths of the Mictlan and gathered the old bones of my past lives. I gathered them, brought them back to the surface and blessed them. I anointed them with my divine blood to birth the new. I, Quetzalcoatl, I gave birth to the new from the ashes of the old. I, great creatress of my own. Here, take them. Take my old bones, I don't need them. Maybe you can read your fortune in the ashes. Take them. They are my offerings. Wow. I haven't read this in a while. I think I should give you a bit of context. This was right after my first conscious awakening. It was the first time that I realized what was necessary for me to connect to my depth. It was after I broke my back surfing, and I went from being extremely active, surfing about 12 hours a week at least, same with rock climbing. So I would spend almost half of the week doing sports on top of work. And at the time, I was a student as well. So keeping myself extremely busy. And when not busy with, financially, um, jobs and school, I would busy myself with extreme sports. And I didn't quite realize at the time that this was a coping mechanism. I thought that I was just this exciting person that loved adventures and loved putting myself in situations that were high, you know, I don't want to say risk because a lot of it is calculated, but a potential risk. So after I broke my back, I found myself stopped, of course, for a while. I've got cat hair on my face. That's why I'm this guy. Yeah, so after I broke my back, I found myself going from extremely busy to not busy at all. Um, I had physical pain, of course. I was limited in what I could do. I certainly couldn't surf and rock climb anymore. Um, I could have tried, which at the time I did, but then I was wise enough to stop myself. Thank God. Um, and that space gave me the opportunity to look, because it turns out it was not just physical pain, it was also emotional pain, and I hadn't looked at it for pretty much my whole lifetime. And so being immobilized, really forced me into stillness. And that created the spaciousness for me to literally be forced to look. And when I started looking inside, I realized that I had no idea who I was. I realized that my sense of identity was not really secure. I didn't know who I was, and that was probably the biggest painful thing for me. I remember crying and saying, "Who am I? Who am I? I can adapt to anything, but who am I?" I grew up French, Tunisian. I grew up in a few different countries and lived in the Netherlands when I was in my 20s and moved to Australia when I was close to my 30s. So I'm very adaptable. But who am I? And and that was like a big pain point for me to not be sure, you know, who is underneath all this. And it was so painful that I remember when I started doing Akashic meditations and going inwards and connecting to parts of myself that I hadn't connected with, for a lifetime, for a few lifetimes even, maybe, I don't know. It brought such a sense of pure joy and calm and peace that it was almost difficult to return back to my physical life. I was dreading it. I wanted to stay there. I remember crying and going, "Please, please, please," to my guides, "Please take me. I don't want to go back. Please, please." Essentially saying, I want to die. I don't want to go back to life because physical life, because physical life has lots of pain and it's difficult and there is heartache and there is uncertainty. Whereas when I was in the Akashics, everything was possible. I could feel I was really connected. I could feel I was embraced by this amazing love and compassion, and it was permeating in everything, including inside me. And it was just so intensely beautiful that the stark difference with the dull life that I was living was just too much to bear. So I realized that, okay, there's really a few options here. I could terminate my life, but I was not really ready to do that at the time. If I had to choose between letting myself go or fighting for living, I would have let myself go. So thank God I didn't have to make this choice. But so terminating my life was not really an option. And the other thing that I thought could be possible would be to just constantly stay in the meditative state. If I just stay there, I don't have to deal with life. And finally, the third solution, thank God for my guides and wisdom, was, well, you can try to bring what you learn into your physical life. You can try to integrate love. You can try to integrate compassion. You can try to integrate connectedness with all things, oneness with all things. You can try. What's the worst that's going to happen? You're not going to succeed, but at least you know how to get back. And if it works, then your life will be so much more beautiful. Turns out it's possible. It's a lot of work, but it's possible. And the work that it requires is to shed the limitations that stop you from getting to that love. And the limitations are, the experiences that you've had in your life and what they've done for you emotionally. Whether it's trauma, whether it's an understanding of life, whether it's pain or joy, whatever, it all shapes the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. And it turns out that if you're not aware, you believe that your thoughts and your emotions and your body are you. And so you find yourself stuck in them, when in reality, they are navigation systems. They are here to remind you how close or far you are from that state in which I managed to be the state of oneness, of pure bliss and love. So yeah, I found myself starting to shed layers, and that poem came out of that. After shedding a certain amount of layers, and it came very quickly for me, I felt so much freer, so much more powerful, so much lighter, so much more ready for love and life. And that's where Women Make Waves was created. That's what it's born from. So There you go. I'd love to know what you think about the poem, and if any of what I said during the poem reading or after resonates, or you have questions. I would love for you to send them to me and participate, whether it's a comment, whether it's a DM. You know, I think I want to start conversations like these that feel good, that feel organic, that feel fueling of seeds, maybe planting seeds. It's spring almost. I think it's a good time for seed planting. Okay, thank you so much for listening. Bye.